Happy Friday to you all. Great to see you for Movie News Live. There is so much news this week. It's crazy. Like big movies and Cannes Film Festival is happening and lots of announcements about new television and movies and sequels and prequels and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Cannes a market, let's not forget, as well as a film festival. So there's a lot of stuff that gets announced out of that that's just like deals being closed.
Right. Yes, that too. Real quick, how do we sound? How do we look? I think Alonzo looks great because he just got a haircut and a beard trim and looks spiffier than usual.
Well, you're looking sun-kissed and California breezy.
I washed my hair today.
That's all it takes.
It's a big day. Hi. Yes. Hello to Angel and Christine. And It Can Be and Raymond and Brent. Always good to see you. Spencer Holden, another channel member. Hello, Spencer. Yes. Megalopolis.
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet. And I know the trailer is out there, but I didn't watch it. I pulled an Alonzo and I chose to avoid the trailer, but I did read some reviews.
I did watch the teaser just because I was real curious, and who knows? Who the hell knows? You know, it's Coppola in a big canvas, and that could be Apocalypse Now, or it could be One from the Heart. You just don't know. My favorite joke so far, Louis Vertel says, "Megalopolis sounds like Liza Minnelli trying to remember the name of a dinosaur."
Bradley says that you're quiet, Alonzo.
Really? Okay, well.
Really?
All right, I'll pot it up a little, see if that helps.
Yes. Happy Victoria Day and weekend to all you folks in Canada. That's next week. Good. Yeah, I have not seen it. But the fact that it is getting such wildly mixed reviews makes me even more interested in it. I was texting with our friend Tim Grierson, who was at Cannes and who wrote about it, because Aubrey Plaza, I guess, plays a character named Wow Platinum, which sounds like a line of like hair care, like home hair dye. Oh, this is just Wow Platinum. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Wow Platinum.
It's funny. Like I was super pumped about this movie just because, you know, the whole, you know, paid for it himself and the whole really kind of return of the American Zoetrope thing. And then like Drea Clark reminded me of like the last 3 Coppola movies that I just never got bothered to go see, like Twixt and Youth Without Youth. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. He's not, who knows? Who knows? Like, you know, he's at that point in his career where it could be a masterpiece or it could be a, you know, so but I'm curious. I'm definitely curious.
Very much so. Yeah, our friend Justin Chang, I think, really liked it.
Okay, good sign.
So people that we trust. So anyways, we'll definitely have a review of that whenever that comes out, because that has not gotten picked up yet. As you say, Cannes a marketplace.
Yeah, not in the US. I think some foreign distributors have anteed up, but so far, to my knowledge, no US distributors have committed.
Happy birthday, Brent Loothole. Brent says, I turned 35 today. So young and full of promise. It's all out there ahead of you. So happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, beautiful fellow May child.
Oh, yeah. Alonzo's birthday is tomorrow.
It's true.
Woo! What are you doing for your birthday tomorrow, Alonzo?
Not much. No, it's a couple things. Dave is still waiting for surgery number 2 on the hips. Right. It's one of those between 5 and 0 birthdays. So I was like, whatever. I'm actually going to a friends and family screening of a documentary that a friend of mine made tomorrow, and which I'm very excited to see. He's been working on it for a long time, and I'm pumped to check it out.
What is that called, and what's it about?
It's a secret.
Okay, don't tell anyone. Well, good. Well, enjoy that. Yes, a couple of folks here are mentioning also that Kinds of Kindness is premiering at Cannes. Yes. I just saw Red Carpet Arrivals, but haven't heard any word yet on how folks feel about that. That is the new Yorgos Lanthimos film, which reunites him with Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe, and Jesse Plemons is in it, and Margaret Qualley, who also was in Poor Things.
Yeah, I've seen a few like quick out of the theater responses that seem to be pretty positive, but I don't know that actual reviews have dropped yet. But this one is it's like an anthology film, sort of. It's like 3 different stories, and I'm not sure whether or not they overlap. But already people are saying the Jesse Plemons scenes are amazing. He's great in this.
Oh, always, right? Yeah. Like clearly always the best thing in everything he's in, for sure. Bonzo says, "Get well soon, Dave White." Yes. Thank you. He was looking spry when we saw Furiosa this week. He was looking spry with his cane. So
yeah, no. I mean, he's not incapacitated, but he's ready to have another, have both hips in good working order.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, a bunch of you folks are mentioning Furiosa in the comments. We reviewed it yesterday. We just saw it on Wednesday, reviewed it yesterday, so that is out for you. Yes, you should see it in IMAX. Whoever asked about that or
Oh,
higher up in
sure.
the
Yeah, yeah.
comments. For sure, like see it in the biggest, noisiest way you can. Like George Miller would not want you just to be a minimalist with your choices here.
Yeah, no, not to watch on your phone. You want to hear the gung 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 of the soundtrack and all that stuff right in your chest, you know.
Yes, for sure. So Cannes exciting and it's just beginning. So we will definitely hear more out of that. But there were a lot of announcements about TV stuff this week because all the streamers did their upfronts or whatever
Yeah.
they call it. Do they still call it an upfront when it's streaming?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
upfronts used to be very much geared around advertisers, but I think even if you are a streaming service that isn't, although I guess they all are at some level, aren't they now? Like Netflix and Hulu, like there's a level you can get where you have to see ads. So I guess they're doing upfronts.
Yeah. So among the many, many things we learned about this week, and I have varying degrees of enthusiasm about these things, Adam Sandler is going to do a Happy Gilmore sequel for Netflix.
Okay.
I mean, it just feels like a giant leap back for him. Like we have seen all that he can do at this point in terms of the wide variety of his dramatic abilities, and he has this long-term deal with Netflix clearly because we've seen some silly holiday movies and
Sure.
some decent comedies, and now we have him returning to one of his most beloved roles of all, like the thing that helped him name his production company.
Right.
Uh,
Sandler has always been more of a one for them than a one for me. So, like, for every one Safdie Brothers movie, there's going to be about 5 Hubie Halloweens or whatever. So, I am not surprised that as part of his Netflix deal, he's going back to this. Well, I bet it's set at the LPGA, and his daughters are in it. Like, I don't know.
I believe the exact plural is Hubie's Halloween.
Good point. Yes, thank
Right?
you.
Attorneys General. Hubie's Halloween. So that is one thing that we can look out for. Heartstopper season 3, we now know is going to begin. Actually, the whole season 3 is coming out on October 3rd on Netflix. They dump them all out at one time.
And it's got a new Billie Eilish song, or is it they're just using a new Billie Eilish song in the teaser?
Yeah.
There's some connection there. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And she has a new album out this week too. So maybe that's what the connection is.
Could be.
So that's exciting. We will for sure recap that for you on our Patreon, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We did the first 2 seasons. We were just charmed and delighted.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet. Also, we learned there's going to be a Legally Blonde prequel series on Prime Video with Reese Witherspoon producing it. It is called Elle. It is about the Elle Woods character in high school before she went off to college and pledged Sigma Nu or Delta Nu. Sigma Nu is a real thing.
I was going to say it was fictional, yeah.
Delta Nu is fake. They shot it at the DG house at UCLA. There you go. So I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, the Carrie Diaries, anyone? Like, does this ever work? These prequel things? Like, again, it's the Jim Henson's Muppet Babies of, beloved characters. And I don't know yes, Better Call Saul. Absolutely. Definitely the standout version of how to do this kind of thing right. But do we need a young Sheldon of Elle Woods? I don't know. But I guess if it's high school and not college, that gives them a little more license. Like, it's not about her falling in love with the, shitty character played by, I forget the actor now, that she dumps in the movie or who dumps her. I mean, look, anything's possible. I have to say her output as a producer of late, I've not been the biggest fan of. Like that movie we saw with her and
Ashton Kutcher.
Yes, not
that
great.
Was painful.
What was that swamp movie that she produced that was in theaters? About the girl who lives in the swamp and did she
where the crawdads sang.
Where the crawdads sang. Yeah, that one. So Hello Sunshine needs to step it up. So maybe this will be, their wheelhouse. We'll see.
Yes. Brian Valco says feels a bit Carrie Diaries, but then Bonza Kilborn mentions Dr. Fraser Crane would like a word. But was that a prequel to Cheers? That was like a spinoff.
No, it was after. That was a spinoff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's different, I think. A couple folks here are mentioning Baby Reindeer in the comments. I have not seen it. That's a thing that I know is a phenomenon that I have not caught up with.
Right. Yeah, no, I know it is hot and very much the zeitgeist. It just seems like a big fucking bummer. And so I'm just not I'm not feeling it. I'm so sorry. I don't know that I'm gonna get to it. I'm sure at some point I will be forced to, but uh, you know, I, we're all fragile right now, and we're all having to make decisions about our mental health and our media intake. And that
Yeah.
one's just, I'm thinking, would rather not. Sorry.
And time.
Yeah.
Time is a factor, right?
Also
There's
that,
only so many
yes,
hours in the day, and there's a
yes.
lot of content. Yes, a couple folks are mentioning here the morning show looked bad. So we recapped the morning show, and we
Yeah.
will continue to do so on our Patreon. It is bad, but like in a like soapy, so bad it's good kind
Yeah.
of thing.
It's
Like
terrible, but delicious.
it's glossy trash. And so I liked it. Raymond Sosa says Bridgerton is back. Yes,
Oh,
indeed it
yeah, it
is.
is.
So the first 4 episodes of Bridgerton are out yesterday
Yeah.
on Netflix. We're going to do them 2 at a time like we always do on our Patreon. So we're going to do the
One and
first
two.
2 today. They have a little, is it called a romantic clef? Poland, what's that called? Nom de guerre, when you combine a couple things.
Oh, portmanteau.
Portmanteau, thank you. Bennifer. Oh, we got to talk about Bennifer. Have you seen the
What?
scandalous gossip about Bennifer?
No, tell me everything.
Apparently, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are looking like they're on the outs.
Again.
Again.
That
I'm
trope
very
never
bummed about this,
works.
actually. I want those kids to work it out. But yes, according to TMZ and Page Six and all those rags,
Uh-huh.
they are sleeping in different places, and she's looking for a different house. And
Oh, you know, I really thought after the This Is Me documentary, those two really had a thing happening.
I mean, I don't blame him for being pissed that she shared the private letters that he wrote her. Like, that's such a violation. I would be pissed too.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure if indeed we get another breakup, we'll get the full dish from both sides. But yeah, I thought maybe they were older and wiser this time, but yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, that's not for sure. This is all just a gossipy scandal.
Sure.
Benjamin, thank you for your contribution. And to
Oh,
answer your
thanks.
question, I am legally blonde thanks to the magic of chemicals because my natural hair color is way back here somewhere. My hair is like dark brown naturally.
It
Okay,
is
so
bought and paid for, so she is legally blonde.
yeah, it is, yes. The credit card got paid off. Okay, so we have more things to talk about. Also at Prime Video, besides this Legally Blonde show, is a Roadhouse sequel with Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, thank you.
You don't want to watch it? More
No,
more
I
of him
mean,
kicking ass?
look, it's going to come up and we're going to have to watch it for this program. And I'm resigned to that fact. But am I personally excited to see more of this? No, I didn't think the new Roadhouse was that much fun anyway. And I didn't think that the spin on the character was all that interesting either. So, and if it's going to be a bunch of CG fight sequences like the first time, it's like, I don't, no, not excited. Are you?
I mean, not excited, but I liked that new Roadhouse more than you did. I thought it was like
Okay.
big, goofy fun, and I had a good
Sure.
time. So
All right.
we do not need more necessarily. Here's another thing on Prime Video. Nicolas Cage is going to do a live action Spider-Man Noir series on Prime Video. That looks cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I like all those things, and I think of all of the Spider-Verse, versions. Like I don't want to see, a CG babe version of, Spider Ham. So yeah, Spider Noir I think would totally work done detective movie style. Yeah, why not?
That sounds fun. Maybe they do it like black and white,
Oh,
very
they better
dramatic
do it black and white.
lighting.
Yeah.
So, did you ever read the Spider-Man Noir comics?
I didn't. I frankly did not know they existed until I saw it in Spider-Verse. But again, my comics consumption has been spotty at best since about 1998.
Okay.
So I missed a lot.
Yeah. We have a question here. Obi asks, when will Americans get to see Megalopolis? I don't know. That's a good
Yep,
question.
remains to be seen. And here's the thing: keep an eye out on this because I think how people feel about its eventual sort of commercial prospects will be reflected in who picks it up because someone's going to pick it
Mm.
up. There's
Oh, for sure.
too many names attached, but like if it winds up in the hands of somebody like Vertical or Roadside Attractions or Aristocle, that's pretty much
Right.
like Coppola's probably paying them to book houses
Oh.
and do the thing they would do, as opposed to it getting picked up by somebody like Paramount Pictures, you know, or like
Focus
some
features.
focus features where they're like they are paying him to acquire the film, and then they'll
Yeah.
have a deal breakdown of the profits, you know, if it gets to profits, or penny one of the net, whatever it is. But if it winds up in a smaller distributor than you would think, that probably means in some level or other, he's basically paying them to service the film, to roll it out in the way that they do it. And that's different from like a different kind of distributor. So it depends. Either somebody thinks we can make money on this, or somebody thinks we'll do it for you if you pay us, and we'll get it in front of the public and let them decide.
I feel like the prestige of it alone, the fact that it's a Coppola film that people are talking about, would make someone like a Focus, like a Neon, want to pursue it.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you've got these streamers who are happy to like have the bottomless checkbook for auteur driven projects like
Right.
Napoleon and Killers of the Flower Moon,
Well, that's true.
I don't see why this doesn't fit that bill. It is, like you said, it's a talked about thing. There's stars in it. It's got awards possibilities, certainly in the tech categories, at least. Not to mention, like, you know, maybe performances or script or direction or whatever. So maybe that moment has passed, and people aren't interested in making those deals anymore. But like this seems like the kind of thing where 3 to 5 years ago, Apple or Netflix or Amazon would be duking it out for this kind of thing.
Right. And do like a 1 week theatrical run and then put it out on streaming.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a really good point. Cool. So we have all of that. Sorry, it's a little noisy. The gardeners are here, so I apologize if I can't hear you. I'm just going to talk.
I can't hear anything. So
here's more news we had this week. FX is going to develop 2 more seasons of Shogun. We kind of saw this coming because I'm blanking on what his name is.
I know.
God damn it! The guy who plays Toranaga.
Yes, the star, the top billed actor on this show, not the
titular
white guy
Shogun
this time, which was very exciting.
Why right now at this moment in my life I can't think of it. I apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm just Tadanobu Asano.
No,
that's
Yabashige.
Oh God, damn it! IMDb, put these.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Hiroyuki Sanada. Thank you.
Apologies.
So sorry about that.
Yes. A lot of information in our brains. So we already knew that he had signed some sort of deal to return as Toranaga, but now we know for sure there's going to be 2 more seasons of Shogun, which is very exciting because it is some of the best made television I've ever seen.
No kidding. Yeah. And I think also it's that thing of, you can turn a novel into a TV series, and once you run out of novel, that really frees you up. You know, The Leftovers, I think, is a great example of a show where it's an adaptation of a book, and then the book is done, and then they have built this world and these characters, and you get talented writers to kind of flesh it out from there. And so I think we've pretty much exhausted most, if not all, of whatever James Clavell wrote, and so now, Emily Yoshida and the other talented writers of that show can forge new paths. Frankly, they can forge new paths without the Anjin. Like he was our entry into this world, but now that we're here, fuck it, let's just make it all Japanese all the time. We don't have to have the sort of, white audience surrogate figure, because these other characters are fascinating and rich, and we're in. We know what we're in for, and we know the structure of the society and who the players are.
I mean, we just need new characters for him to kill or have killed.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of rollover there.
A lot of folks around him have a tendency to die. So I'm excited about that. And it's just, I wish it were bigger. I wish it were a bigger hit that people were talking about. Glenn Whipp drove me to see Furiosa a couple days ago because I still can't drive with my leg. And we were talking about like how amazing Shogun is and why aren't people talking about it more? And is it simply the fact that so much of it is Japanese with subtitles?
Possibly, yeah.
I hope not.
I'm glad that it exists, and I'm glad they did it that way. But I'm sure there is still a segment of the audience that's a deal breaker for. I mean, there's a segment of the audience that the black and white of Ripley is a deal breaker for.
Well, they're missing out.
Less so than it used to be, but still a thing.
They are missing out. Christine, thank you very much. Always great to see you here. Christine asks, thoughts on football player Butker's reference to Taylor Swift as teammate's girlfriend in a misogynistic commencement speech. Don't anger the Swifties. I don't know this story.
Oh, I didn't even know the Taylor Swift part. This is the guy who said that pride celebrations are they're named for one of the deadly sins, and he suggested that
Oh.
women should basically get back in the kitchen. I'm not kidding. Like that was it was a speech at Benedictine. Oh, and he said that like that he grouped not just abortion but like IVF and birth control as being signs that society was on the wrong track. Fuck this guy.
Is he going to run for Congress?
Beats me, but I'll tell you, I love how after he, like was a complete homophobe in public, all these photos of his travel outfits have been surfacing. Maybe he is a full-fledged rip-roaring heterosexual, but this guy's a dandy. Like you should check out his fashions as he gets off the plane to go kick his little ball in the Chiefs games. He is a natty gentleman.
That is really interesting. So perhaps he protests too much.
Who can say?
I'll have to go look that up. I had not heard of any of this, but now you have piqued my curiosity with the sartorial element of the story. That is really funny. Yeah, and Christine says he's doubled down and said women should have more babies than thoughts. Oh, come on.
Now, careful.
Is it shtick?
There was a thing floating around where they were like, it was a satire site where they were making up new quotes for him. So double check on those because I fell for one. I thought, what? And there's like, no. And that's the thing. Satire is really hard when the real thing is already so stupid.
Right. Oh, Bonzo asks, why do people care what a football player says?
Well, because he was speaking at a commencement at Benedictine University. Like, he said it into a microphone to a crowd of graduates, many of whom were women, who were getting their diplomas and being told that they should, have more babies and stay at home.
Also, the fact that, Taylor Swift's army is massive and organized and
yes.
They will come after you. Angel, thank you so much. Angel, I hope you're feeling better from your skiing accident too.
Yes.
Asks, Christy, do you know that they used footage from skiers having accidents, like helmet cameras, to plan the shooting of the worm ride in Dune Part 2? I did not know that. My fall was not that magnificent. I did not go, A, I don't have a helmet camera on, but B, I wear a helmet with no camera on it. But B, like I didn't go far enough to even create any footage. So
I just always think of the agony of defeat guy on the Wide World.
Totally. Yes, that is true. I did not see that, but that's a really interesting point. Okay, a couple more things. Speaking of football, let's just keep it in the football world.
Sure.
We talked about Tom Brady, the Tom Brady roast recently. He's saying that he regrets having said yes to this.
Well,
that there were jokes that hurt his children and he didn't realize it would be like that. And he has regrets.
Ideally, if you're going to be the subject of a roast, ideally you should just be a comedian where you've already developed that thick skin and you give back as good, if not better, than you get. Barring that, you should have a sense of humor and know what a roast is and how they work and know the fact that nothing is off the table. And if you don't know those things, then you shouldn't do one. You're right, Tom Brady. You shouldn't have done it.
Also, I kind of call bullshit on this, that he didn't realize it'd be like this, because I don't think you get to the level of someone like Tom Brady without knowing exactly what's going to happen in your day every single minute of the day. Like, I don't think a man like this goes into anything haphazardly.
Well,
and so to suggest that he was ill-informed about what a roast entails.
Yeah. If nothing else, that makes your people look bad, because some flunky, somebody who is running your calendar and, your PR and all that stuff should have either debriefed you or known to say no on your behalf.
Yeah. So anyway, that was his choice. I think he didn't realize, but you could see when he got up to whisper in Jeff Ross's ear, "Don't do that shit." Like you could see this, just he had no idea how much it was going to be like that.
That shit is what Jeff Ross was put on this earth to do. So too late now, sir.
It is his bread and butter. A couple questions I want to get to here. Daniel Warren Guitar asks, so when you're watching a movie with special effects, do the effects ever take you out of the story by making you think about how they created the effect?
Good
Hmm.
question. I mean, obviously, if they are integral to the story and they're meaningful, they're invisible. I mean, not invisible, but they're, you just take it as part of the thing that you're in. I mean, like when I saw Avatar the first time,
Hmm.
and it was just so immersed in that world, I never stopped to think, wait, how much of this is any of this real? Is this all animated? Like it was just all happening around me. If I'm bored in a movie, like say, if I will think about
Hmm.
effects and about the fact that people are talking to a thing that isn't there. They're looking at a tennis ball to deliver their lines. Um, or like if effects aren't done well and I can see the little, green screen aura around them, that takes me out for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if it's done well, it should just be immersive, as you say. And if it's not done well, then it's distracting. But like I know we talked in our Furiosa review about the fact that there was CGI used in this movie, and George Miller didn't do that when he made Fury Road,
Yeah,
10 years ago. And so is that distracting? I thought it was all pretty seamless. They were clearly human beings doing actual things a lot of the time. So
sure. But there were things that happened in that movie that you could only do via CG, like things with sand and stuff. And it made me think, oh, that's CG, and that's not something that Fury Road had. So into that level, it took me out. Whereas in another movie, it would be like, oh, the sand is opening up or whatever. And sure, that's the thing that happens in movies now, and I wouldn't have thought about it.
yes. A couple questions I want to get to here, and then we have a couple more little news items. Then we got to jump because we've got so much to do today. Where is the question I wanted to get to? Oh, Gage asks, Christy, have you watched the new Wicked trailer? I know Alonzo hasn't. I've not had a chance to look at that, but I know it exists in the world. So
I have not. Somebody I know on Facebook was like, "It's two movies," and everybody in the comments was like, "Yeah, where have you been?" So
yes.
I guess a lot of people hadn't heard that, and I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm going to bet you $5 that it doesn't mention that it's a musical. Just a hunch here.
I think that's implicit.
Is
Do
it?
you not?
Is it? I don't know. I mean, I thought the Color Purple musical I thought was implicit, and they tried to skirt that in the trailer too. So who knows?
I don't know. Hey, so our good friend Danny has a question too. It says thoughts
Yes.
on Kevin Costner's Western saga Horizon being released in two 3-hour parts. Part one in June, part two in August. Is this how you would prefer to watch a 6-hour film unfold in a live theater? So it's a movie, but
Yeah.
it's like two 3-hour
Yeah.
chunks.
It's his Kill Bill, basically.
Oh, interesting. That
um.
sounds fine.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, you want to give me 6 hours, Kevin Costner? I dare you. But I think that's a good way to go about it, and I think that people are attuned to that now because of things like Bridgerton season 3 being deposited in two parts.
Mhm.
So I think the idea, and it's one thing to be like, oh, here's part one, and then 2 years later you get part two, but part one's in like what, June, and part two's in August or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of brilliant, I think. And then it will become a thing where they're always fused together in whatever streaming service is carrying them, and people will binge them or not or whatever. So yeah, I mean, why not?
It is smart, I think, also from a financial perspective. You
Sure.
get two bites at that apple. So,
Yeah. And
Bartle,
they'll reissue part one, I'm sure, the week before part
yeah,
two opens for people who missed it. And
yeah, very smart. Thank you so much for your generosity, Bartleby Scrivener. Bartleby
thank you.
asks if all the movie theaters in the world closed permanently tomorrow, what movie out right now would you want to be the last film you saw in a theater? Well, I guess
Wow.
Furiosa. I mean, or man,
Uh
Dune 2, Dune Part 2. How about that?
Challengers in IMAX.
Challengers in IMAX. I have not seen in IMAX. I
It's
do
pretty
love
great.
Challengers.
Yeah. I got a lot more out of the second time, or Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers in IMAX, so you can
Yeah.
see the fur on the
With an audience.
costumes.
I have keep meaning to go see Hundreds of Beavers with an audience because I watched it at home on a link and I thought it was hilarious, but I'm sure in a crowd it's even better.
Yeah, for sure. Like a midnight film festival crowd for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Roger Corman real fast.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
let's. Speaking of
So,
Francis Coppola and so many
yes.
other filmmakers, yeah, so he's a legend, a one of the great sort of like grindhouse drive-in, low budget director producers, and really kind of helped nurture what would become the new Hollywood generation. Coppola, Bogdanovich, all these people really got their start under his tutelage. And yes, with Scorsese. Was he cheap? Did he cut corners? Absolutely. But his whole thing, Ron Howard, his whole thing to filmmakers was like, do a good job for me and you never have to work for me again. That's the quote. So like he's an essential figure, like bridging like the studio era and the new Hollywood era of the 1970s. Absolutely. Also gave a first crack at directing to a lot of women. Stephanie Rothman and Kat Shea, a lot of women filmmakers got their start making genre films for Roger Corman. And then he was also like a distributor of international art house films. He distributed Truffaut's The Story of Adele H. Like a lot of his New World Pictures really put out a lot of great European directors. Ken Russell's Crimes of Passion was a film that his company distributed. So yeah, he's an integral player in the history of cinema, and yeah, made it to 98, which is a hell of a run.
It's amazing when you think about all those people that you mentioned, and like Jonathan Demme as well, who he helped launch their careers. And there's a certain level of prestige that you associate with these filmmakers that you don't associate with Roger Corman.
Right. Yeah, it's like he's the unseemly finishing school they all went to. Joe Dante, like all these amazing people.
But I can imagine how useful that was, because it taught young filmmakers to be resourceful, right, and to be efficient and to plan. Like planning is the thing that Scorsese said he got from Roger Corman. Like exactly what's going to happen every minute of the day,
and also how to improvise. When you're there's time is running out, or the sun is going down, or you don't have enough money for another day. Like how do you do the thing you need to do? I was just telling my barber the story about this isn't about Corman, but when Orson Welles made Macbeth, and it was a movie that he would sort of shoot sporadically whenever he would make some money acting in somebody else's movie. Then like, okay, great, we can do another week on Macbeth. And at one point he was all set, he had all these actors together and they were going to do this big scene where like the other nobles gather together to plot against Macbeth, and the costumes didn't show up. The costumes were like stuck in customs or something. So Wells is like, all right, fuck it, we're going to do the scene in a steam bath and everybody's going to wear sheets, and that's it, and that's the scene. And he did it and it worked. So it's that's like great. Working with low budget and not a lot of time makes you really have to think about things and be smart and on the fly. And so say what you will about Corman's work, like those gifts carried over to those filmmakers. Not that you necessarily could see it in like Coppola going crazily over budget on everything, right. But
that's not
other
efficient.
People took the lesson.
Well, maybe we can make Roger Corman the subject of June's Off the Menu on our Patreon.
That's a great idea. Yes,
that'd be kind of fun to explore. So we should do that. A couple more things real fast. Yes, come on, Command Z. Hello to Romper Room. He mentions that Sam Rubin of KTLA died. That was a big shocking thing here in Los Angeles. R.I.P. He worked really, really hard, and he was enormously generous and big-hearted, and was a fixture on morning television here for like 30 years. So everyone knew him. Every celebrity, every other entertainment journalist knew him, and that was great. And then Bonzo asked, will Breakfast All Day be covering House of the Dragon 2? We will not, because we did not do House of the Dragon 1.
And I've still never seen any of Game of Thrones, and I'm not catching up at this point.
We are not big Game of Thrones experts here. Anyway, thanks so much to all you guys for being here. We are going to review today Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse biopic, and also Babes, the comedy with Alana Glazer and Michelle Buteau. And then over on our Patreon, we're doing the first 2 episodes of Bridgerton. So lots to do, lots to see.
Back to Black, Babes, and Bridgerton.
It is B-Day for sure. So come hang out with us in all these various places. We're thrilled that you're here. Thank you always for taking the time on a Friday to hang out with us, and we don't take it for granted. Your time is valuable, so thanks for sharing some of it with us.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, and U of A 99 says, Christy, I want to thank you for your help with my junior high film studies class this year. I am so happy that you are here. Thank you for chiming in and letting me know that. I love that. My son is graduating from 8th grade in a couple weeks. So yay, junior high school film classes. And Angel says, Feliz cumple, Alonzo.
Oh,
Leo asks about If. I didn't see it because I couldn't drive there. They wouldn't send me a screener, so we're not doing If. Sorry.
My review's on thefilmverdict.com.
Oh, did you reviewed it? Yeah, Alonzo reviewed it at Film Verdict. All right, you guys are the best. See you real soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next Saturday or next Friday rather. Oh, Saturday. Tomorrow's Saturday. My newsletter's out.
Yes. Subscribe
ChristyLemire.com.
now.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.